When my kids were younger, connection was easy. They were so excited to see me. They were so excited to share the new thing that they just learned or learned to do. Um, you know, jumping off the couch and doing a spin, right? Uh, Whatever cute, adorable thing. And they were just so excited to see me and to connect with me and talk with me and ask questions. Connection was easy. I didn't have to put any work into it, right? I just had to keep them alive. But as my kids are growing up, connections getting harder and harder. They're getting more interested in their friends, in their social lives, in school, in sports, in activities, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. I am so happy that that's happening. But I'm getting a little lonely. I'm missing them. I want that connection, and so the burden is on me, and I realize that as a parent. And this is what I want to share with you today. If you're a parent and you're feeling disconnected from your kid, the burden's on you to get into their world. Stop waiting around for them to get into your world and to show interest in your things, to do the things that you like. There's a place for that, there's a time for that. And, there's a lot of upsides for your kids. They get new experiences, and maybe it's something they like and really enjoy, maybe it's not. But if you're feeling disconnected and there's a gulf growing between you and them, put the burden on yourself to get interested in their world. So, okay, Dan, that sounds fine and good and all that, but how do I do that? Well, I suggest bridge building or building a bridge with your kiddo. And so that means you become a student of them, you learn about them, you learn how they tick, you learn what they like, what they don't like, what they're passionate about, what music they like, what they like to read, where they like to go. Become a student of your child, right? Make them your project. I'm going to learn everything about you. And then I'm going to try to discover those points of connection between myself, my interests, my world, and yours. And when I do that, I can build a bridge over into your world. And maybe you'll let me in, right? And then I'll get to rediscover a relationship with you and a connection with you. But it's on you to learn your child, to learn of your child, to be a student of them, and to build that bridge over to them. So let me give you one quick example, real life example. Me and my dad, when I was a teenager, we were just at total odds, didn't talk, conflict, tension, that whole thing. I was into a lot of artsy fartsy kinds of stuff. I loved painting, visual arts, writing, poetry, anything that was creative and expressive. I was just, it was my life. I loved it. I loved going to art museums, sketching, drawing, that whole thing. My dad was old school, thought that stuff was, didn't appeal to him. He was into woodworking, and so I had no interest in woodworking. So I do remember one day, it was kind of at the crescendo of the tension between us. He offered for me to come out to his shop, which he'd offered 100 times, and I always said no. But this time he offered, hey, come build a frame. I bought some canvas. Come build a frame, and then you can stretch the canvas over, and you can have a canvas. I know you're always asking for that, so and you can paint on it and do whatever you want. So like, all right, well, yeah, I am always wanting a canvas, and those are expensive, so that could be kind of cool. I could customize it and make it whatever size I want. So I went out, and one thing led to another. We kind of had side conversations as we were working together, some awkward moments of silence, but that indirect conversation led to more conversation and more conversation. That one project led to more projects, and then he'd come by my room and see how the painting was going, or we'd have more little chit chat. And so it went from us having no contact, tons of tension, and just not interacting in any kind of way, positive or negative, to some interactions, some conversations that led to more and led to more and led to more. And it was the beginning of kind of a new chapter in our relationship. So I'm really thankful for my dad doing that. And it did really teach me something, that he built a bridge over into my world, found points of connection, and it led to the flourishing of our relationship. So this is something that I suggest to parents all the time. How do you become attentive to who your kid is and become a student of them? Build a bridge, show interest in their interests, even if their interest has no interest to you. you're interested in them as a person and how they experience that thing. So that is always of interest to you, right? If it's a kind of music that you just hate, but oh, that's interesting. They think these deep thoughts about that music, or it impacts them in this kind of way. Okay, now I'm in, right? So, um, I also want to hear from folks where maybe you've tried something like this, and tell me what has worked for you in building a connection with your kid. Maybe you have another strategy of bridge building and becoming a student of your child and building, forging a long lasting connection with them. I want to hear your thoughts. I've had very good success with this strategy that I'm suggesting to you. I've walked a lot of parents through it. But tell me what you've learned in working with your kiddo, what strategies work for you. I'd love to hear in the comments and have a dialogue.